Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Happy Workaholic Podcast. I'm your host, Kellyanne Gorman. I'm a business, LinkedIn, and podcast coach, as well as a luxury brand consultant, and I help business owners take their brands to the next level by implementing my personal techniques when it comes to growing their service, sales, and social media. Over the past 20 years, I've helped grow multiple brands in the beauty, hospitality, health, and luxury travel markets. I've exceeded all of their expectations, and I'm here to share my tips and tricks on how I did it. Inspiration, motivation, and determination are what got me to where I am today. And trust me, living with an autoimmune disease is never an easy task. So you can definitely expect some pretty crazy stories shared here as well. Don't forget, the after show happens after each episode in the Happy Workaholic Podcast Facebook group, and that's where I'll be every week to answer all of your questions. Now, if you want to hear any of my exclusive news first, just visit thehappyworkaholic.com, scroll down to the bottom of the page, and sign up for my weekly VIP newsletter. Now, let's get started with today's show. Hello, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Happy Workaholic Podcast. This is episode number 90, and I cannot believe we're almost at 100 episodes. This is absolutely insane to me. It has flown by. So I want to dive right in because I have so much information for you guys. This is going to be a little recap of where I've been, what's been going on with my personal life and my health issues, as well as what is going on with the show and how I am going to be expanding it for you. So I'm super excited about all this information that I'm diving right into right now. So first and foremost, thank you so much for being patient with me. I haven't been feeling up to par, let's just say. The last couple of weeks, I was not able to record my Friday episode last week because I was in the hospital. So long story short, I thought I had sprained my left wrist. And 2 weeks ago, I was typing with my right hand only for a couple days, just fighting through the pain, popping ibuprofens, and just, hoping it would go away. And it didn't. So all of a sudden one day, the pain just kept getting triggered, and it felt more bruised inside of my arm. And it was kind of like going up my arm rather than just my wrist and my hand, like it had been hurting that whole week. So I ended up going to the emergency room, and it turns out it was not a sprained wrist. It was actually my nerves that were extremely inflamed from my autoimmune disease, NMO. And within 5 to 10 minutes, my left arm went numb, my right arm went numb, my upper back, and my left lower leg. And for those of you that don't know, the autoimmune disease that I have, NMO, which stands for neuromyelitis optica, if you can become blind and paralyzed within minutes. And that is why I do chemo treatments for the rest of my life to prevent that from happening. And if you've been listening to previous shows, my last chemo treatment was December, and I should have had it in June. And I was feeling really good. I moved state, so you know how that is, getting all new doctors, lining everything up. And if you have a previous condition, you have to find specialists. So I was on the hunt for 12 doctors. So I have them now. I saw my primary. I'm going to see my specialist soon, September 12th, which I cannot wait to see him. But anyway, this disease is very scary. And I've already had a little relapse. And this was my second one since I did push my chemo treatment, which was supposed to be June. My last one was December. I pushed it because I moved. I pushed it because I was honestly afraid to get it again. And I had been having these awful nightmares that I didn't make it through the treatment. And, I moved back to San Diego for health reasons. I moved back to heal my body and be by the water. And I just felt healthy enough, and I felt that I could push it. Well, my body is telling me different. So after having a really scary relapse, getting admitted to get the drugs that I needed, the steroids, I was discharged the next day, thank God. They gave me an option. I could have stayed in for another 5-day IVIG treatment, which is kind of like a blood transfusion. It's very strong, and I would have been in the hospital another 6 days, or I could have opted out, get discharged, and continue a very high dose of steroids. So I chose Plan B. And I've been on very high doses of steroids before, and it is intense. It is so intense. You literally just feel like you're going to explode, have a heart attack. It's very hard to calm down. My anxiety has been through the roof. And this past time, the pills I was on were actually the highest dose I've ever taken. And those 4 days out of the hospital were literally a complete blur. And I didn't even journal. I literally was just like a walking zombie. I slept a lot. I did not touch my computer. I tried to do some work from my phone, but I literally was useless. Like, I just had to stop everything and really think about what just happened to myself and what happened to my body and what could have happened. So again, another reality check and wake-up call, that I have this autoimmune disease and that I can become blind and paralyzed within any moment. And it did happen when I was there within 5 to 10 minutes. Like, almost my whole body was numb, and it came back with the steroids. So I was fine. But it's a very scary situation. So when something like that happens, you kind of just dwell on it. And you don't really want to dwell on it, but I was like so depressed. It was really hard to picture myself not getting discharged again. Like, I just kept picturing myself back in the hospital, like I was last year when I got my final diagnosis after fighting it for 2 years. That I was in the hospital for 9 days, and I could have easily been there another 9 this time. And I'm very, very lucky, knock on wood, that the doctors felt comfortable enough to give me an option. And so I've been trying to lay low. I did pull a 14.5 straight hour work day the other day to play catch up. I have the most unbelievable clients. They check up on me. They know, like, if something's wrong, like, I'm going to, like, come back full force and get their job done. And I'm just so appreciative of each and every one of them, because they've all become my friends, and my friends become my family. And I love what I do so much, and I just can't picture not being able to do that anymore. And if you've been listening to this show from the very beginning and you know why I started it, it's because I was in the middle of writing a book. And when I finally got my diagnosis with this disease, I needed to come up with another game plan for my business and how I could make money if that were to happen. So that's why I started a podcast, because I know I can still talk and I'm still able to make money with my show. And I would have to just outsource somebody else to produce it and edit my shows and all that fun stuff. But that's why I have this show. So when all of that happened, I really had to sit down and have, like, a serious talk with myself again and come up with, like, another game plan that would kind of eliminate a lot of stuff I have on my plate and just make shit happen as easily as possible in my business, continue to grow my business. But if something were to happen, then I would have already lined everything up, right? So I had to prepare my will last year. I've had to update it twice already, and that's a very stressful thing to do at 40 years old. I'm not married. I don't have kids. I have left everything to 2 of my closest friends, and they know the drill if something were to ever happen. And it's so, like, depressing to even talk about this, but this is just my reality. And this is why I'm very vocal about having an autoimmune disease. So for those of you that are listening that, you know, have those deep, dark days that you're so scared to fight, I'm telling you, you have to fight. You have to surround yourself with the most positive people possible in your tight-knit circle, because if I did not have that supportive system, there's no way in hell I would be where I am today. And I've cried enough about it over the last few days. I've laughed about it, like, the last few days. And, you know, that's just my reality. That's part of the show. I am a business coach and an entrepreneur, and I love what I do. I have the best clients, like I said earlier, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. I'm going to continue to raise awareness about autoimmune diseases and how you should go about them, in my personal opinion, what's helped me, as well as, proving to you that you can run a business. You can have it all. You might have to take a few things off your plate like I've had to do recently, and then sometimes you can add them back on. It's really just a part of life and the life that you're going to have to live and deal with moving forward when something like that happens. So, a lot of podcasts are either health and wellness or just business, and I've never been the norm. I've always been wanting to create and wanting to produce and just wanting to share a story, tell a story, like have a creative outlet. I went to art school half my life, and I feel like this podcast is it. And after going through that whole health drama again with my relapse last week, I really had to think about what I wanted to do in the future with this show and how I really wanted to involve everybody that's listening. So for you guys that are listening, I wanted another way to make these shows better for you. And I want a way that would help me allow me more time to create the best possible content for you guys that I can. And then, I wanted another way to involve more community and have it expand even more, whether it's, private Facebook groups or being a community on my website or something else. So I was brainstorming and writing a lot of things over and over and over in my journal. And what I came up with is so exciting. And I'm so proud to announce the official launch of my Patreon community. And if you do not know what Patreon is, I will link it in the show notes. And the Happy Workaholic, so if you go to patreon.com/thehappyworkaholic, you'll be able to see that I have created, I need some water because that was just a lot of talking. And I was choked up, but I didn't cry. So there's a bonus there. So my Patreon community is something that I've created for all of you guys to be a part of the show now. I want to take my podcast to a whole nother level. I'm expanding it to be the number one part of my business so that I can share my personal stories, so that I can share professional business tips and tricks, and so much more. So there's 4 levels that you can become a part of my Patreon community, and you'll be able to see them all on the page, which, like I said, I'll link in the show notes. There's a bronze level, and then there is a silver, a gold, and a platinum. And I created those levels exactly how my business coaching is put together, my one-on-one business coaching. And each level that you donate to be a part of the show, sorry, I use the word donate. You contribute, so you can give $1 a month for this show. And what would that get you? That would get you a thank you message and a follow from me back on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you prefer, as well as access to a private community and a live weekly after show. And then while we go up the chain to the silver and the gold level, you just get more back as being a member and contributor and part of this brand new community that I've just created on Patreon. The platinum level, well, actually I should say the gold and platinum levels actually give you a percentage off of all of my business coaching services throughout the year as well. And you'll get a shout out on an episode. And the platinum gives you 20% off all of my business coaching services, as well as access to an exclusive community for the podcast After Hours live weekly show, which is something brand new I'm doing. So I'm going to have 2 different live weekly shows in the private communities, as well as a weekly podcast. And I am taking you all along for the ride. So if you are interested in learning any more about being involved in this show, being part of the community, I would absolutely, truly appreciate it if you would check it out at patreon.com/thehappyworkaholic. And I will link that in the show notes. I'm so excited about it. I put together the page last, oh my God, I forget when I did it, a couple days ago. Tuesday, I think I did. And, I just didn't want to wait, so I put it up. So there you go. Yes, it was Tuesday because I did a sneak peek in my VIP newsletter. And if you're not receiving my weekly VIP newsletters, you can actually subscribe at thehappyworkaholic.com just scroll down all the way down to the bottom of the website and you'll be able to sign up right there. But like I said, I created this Patreon community for the Happy Workaholic Podcast to involve all of you that are listening so that you can get a shout out on the show, so you can get a follow back from me. You can get included into our live weekly Facebook chats and then the podcast after hours. So there's just so much more happening with the show. I could not be more thrilled. This is my main focus in my business right now, besides working with my clients one-on-one, whether it's LinkedIn or podcasting or their branding. This is my baby. And I am officially in 36 countries. Downloaded this past week. I learned 36 countries are listening to the Happy Workaholic Podcast, which is absolutely insane to me. I'm going to be bringing on more sponsors for the show so that I can give you guys some deals on some amazing products that I personally love. I have a new shop page as well with some great discounts on the happyworkaholic.com, and I'll be linking all these in the show notes. And then something else that I have been talking about literally for the last year, excuse me, more water time, is that the I Chose This Life series is finally happening. I have been talking about this for the last year, and the timing was never right. And I have over 30 female entrepreneurs I'm interviewing, and I cannot wait to share their stories with you. So in short, the I Chose This Life series is going to be an additional show every week, every Wednesday. This show's usually up every Friday. Right now it's Saturday night, and I'm recording a day late because my voice has been awful on these steroids and so groggy, and I just did not want you guys to have to listen to that. So the I Chose This Life series is based on myself interviewing, well, it's all about myself interviewing other female entrepreneurs, and they're sharing their story and their struggles and their journey and why they chose the life that they have. What is the path that got them there? Why are they doing what they're doing? What inspired them? Who motivates them? Just really insane and incredible conversations that I'm going to be sharing with all of you guys. So that is happening in 10 more episodes. It's finally happening. It's finally here. I cannot wait to share the first one. And like I said, there's over 30 female entrepreneurs I've already had on the list. So you're going to be hearing from so many different individuals in different career paths, different journeys, and so much more. So this is episode 90. So 10 more shows, 9 more shows, that is launching. So I could not be any more excited about that. There's more information as well on the happyworkaholic.com. And something else I wanted to talk to you guys about is the sharing of my show. If you love a specific show, if you are listening to this show right now, feel free to screenshot it. I'm really hoping to get this show into the hands of a lot more people worldwide. If you screenshot any episode and tag me on Instagram at the Happy Workaholic, I will then reshare on my stories, and I would truly appreciate it. And also, if you haven't left a 5-star review and 5 stars as well as a review, that would mean the world to me, because us podcasters take so much time to create our content and to write our stories and to be able to share and edit and produce and design. And podcasting is a lot of work. And for those of you that are still listening to multiple podcasts, you know how much reviews mean to us. So if you could give me a 5-star mark as well as a review, write me a lovely review, why you love this show, what you want to hear more about on iTunes, I would truly appreciate it, because every 5-star review helps get more eyes on my show. So that means that I can get my message heard, I can help more people, I can share more business information, tips and tricks, as well as share my story and the journey of having an autoimmune disease and what I'm doing every day to live my best damn life and hope that they can do the same. Just by, living a happy, healthy, positive, and productive life. That is my personal mantra I've had for quite some time. And it's something that I have written like all over my journals, Post-its, everywhere. But I just want to be able to help more people. I want them to know that they're not alone. If you're struggling with something personally, I want you to know that there's always room for growth when it comes time to do something different in your business, that it's okay to, downsize, make changes. And there's so much more I'm going to be sharing in the future, but that is what I have for you guys today. So many updates between my health and my relapse and my chemo treatment that's around the corner, probably sometime in September, and my Patreon community that I created for you guys, that you can be more involved in this community, this show, the podcast, the weekly live after shows. And if you are ever looking for a community that is just strictly for health, something health related, you can always check out justforuscommunity.org. That's something else I have that I'm restarting again. And then as far as your business, when it comes to coaching and consulting for your business, LinkedIn, and podcast, the Happy Workaholic Network is really something that you're going to want to check out. I've created every single step along the way as far as the business and branding and the social media aspect, all the one-on-one coaching, the editing and producing and designing for the podcast. So if you are looking to build more awareness around your brand, if you're looking to get more eyes on a product that you're selling now, or you're looking to launch, or you're looking for more engagement and growth on your LinkedIn, the Happy Workaholic Network is definitely something that is going to make that happen for you. I would love to talk to you on another call and, see how we can work together and see if we're a great match. So if that's something else you're looking for, you can always visit thehappyworkaholic.com and get more information on that. But I just wanted to record on a Saturday night as promised. I posted on my Instagram yesterday that there was no way in hell I was going to have you guys listen to my groggy voice. I could feel it fading now, but that's all I really wanted to share. Just how thankful I am that I have you guys in my community. I have you guys listening to my show. I'm creating so much more content for your businesses and just information on LinkedIn and podcasting and social media and service and sales and oh my gosh, so much more. But the official episode number 100, well, actually, maybe it might be 101, because 100, I have a little surprise for you. But that is the I Chose This Life series week, and I cannot be more thrilled to share all these amazing female entrepreneurs with you guys. So that's it. That's all I have this week. A little recap of my life, a little lessons learned, and some new launch information. And I cannot wait to see you more over in my Patreon community. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be one incredible ride. I'm so grateful for the opportunity that I can involve more of you into my community and be a part of some live weekly video chats. What is more exciting than that? So that's all I have. I'm going to wrap it up. It's about 8 o'clock Saturday night. I'm going to edit this show and get it up for you guys. And like I said earlier, if you take a screenshot of this show, tag me on Instagram at The Happy Workaholic. I would truly appreciate it, and I will reshare it in my stories for you. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you again soon. Thank you so much for listening to today's show. If you liked this episode, please let me know by writing me a review on iTunes for the Happy Workaholic Podcast. I would truly appreciate it. As I always say, sharing is caring. Don't forget, the after show happens after each episode in the Happy Workaholic Podcast Facebook group. And that is where I am every week to answer all of your questions. Now, just so you know, I have been spending so much time over on my Instagram, and I would love to connect with you over there. You can find me at The Happy Workaholic, and don't forget to tag me when listening to your favorite episode so I can showcase you on my Instagram stories. For any other information regarding the Happy Workaholic Network, leverage your LinkedIn and your podcast production, just visit thehappyworkaholic.com. I hope that you are having a wonderful week, and I will talk to you again soon.